Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Kickback presents the All-Memphis Post-Game Show. Brought to you by us. All-Memphis Post-Game Show presented by the Kickback. It's your boys back again. Jamal, Mase. Mase, what's going on, man?
I think that might have been your smoothest intro yet. You almost let it slip away. But nice save. Nice save.
I forgot what I had set something up before, and I forgot this is what I did. So I had to, we getting better. We getting better.
Hey, there's always room for improvement, but that was a step in the right direction for sure.
Thank you.
Grizzlies got the win tonight, 122-113 over Oklahoma City, who apparently flew into Memphis like 2 hours before the game, came straight from the airport to the arena because they couldn't get out of Oklahoma City. And I think New Orleans or Portland did the same thing and went to New Orleans. I know Dame's having an awesome game tonight. Not sure if they won. But unique circumstances. I think it's safe to say that usually in normal years, this game would have been canceled, postponed, played without fans. Honestly, it's going to take a special person to listen to this breakdown of this game because it's a pretty boring game. Like no fans, no energy. But you'll take a W however you can get it, even if it's a random game that slapped onto the schedule a couple weeks ago just to fill in for all the time you missed with COVID. And the Grizzlies sit at 12-12. So, I mean, all in all, a good night for the team.
Yeah, man, a good night for the team, a good bounce back game after the game last night against the Pelicans. And even thinking further back against the Lakers, like we lost the Lakers on Friday, beat the Kings on Sunday, ended up losing to the Pelicans yesterday and beat the Thunder tonight. But like this was kind of a game that they needed. They needed to win this game. And they had spurts of play where you're like, okay, well, this is the team that we're used to seeing. And then there were spurts where it's like, okay, this is the team that we have been seeing, the team that blows leads, the team that does this. But like you said, man, in this day and age, in this time, man, you take a W any way you can get it, and especially coming off a loss, especially the kind of loss it was last night where some of your key players didn't really show up the way you wanted them to, and some things didn't go your way. It was a good way to get back on the right side of things right there.
So coming into the game, did you have any keys?
I got some keys, man. As DJ Khaled said, I have the keys. He's in the keys. So key number one was just positive play. Continue to build on the good things that you've done, low turnovers, right? And I think I say it every game, like they lose these games, but there's good things you can take away from every game. Just build on all of those. They're like lose these games, and you just figure out if they get it all figured out, they'll be able to win them. So this is just keep going in the right direction, right? Number two was the bench unit. Can the bench unit get back on track from last game? No D'Anthony, no Desmond. So Grayson was in the starting lineup, but I still kind of look at him as I still look at him as a bench player. Can Tyus get back on track, and can Jonas get back on track? Like I said, Jonas had a bad game last night against the Pelicans. So could he get back on, especially with the Thunder not having that much of an inside presence? This game just seemed like a game where Jonas could eat. Point number three was paint points. They really have no interior, so I put the goal at between 50 to 60 paint points, which is what we average. We average like 64 paint points or something like that?
Tops in the league, yeah, right around there. So I think we're fourth in scoring in the paint.
Yeah, so like just dominate the paint because they have nobody that can stop you. And if you do that, then you should win the game. It just kind of shows an aggressive mindset if that's what you're doing. And then play like the favorite, man. You're a favorite to win this game. Come out there and win this game. Like, go out there and win the game. Do what you're supposed to do to win the game. And they did that. And I said, couldn't the defense hold them to less than 110 points? They did not, but it was right there, 113. You know, the third quarter, like Darius Bazley's out here hitting threes and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, in the first quarter, he looked like the worst player in the NBA. I mean, he started the game off with a couple of turnovers. Grizz got out to a hot start, but we were fouling and, quite frankly, just not playing very good defense. Kyle had 3 steals, though. So the steals in turn led to us having, I think, 7 first quarter fast break points.
Yep.
And the Thunder had 0. So I thought Kyle really got us going. I thought JV was going to be a little more dominant early against the young fella Roby. But he had 6. So, I mean, he, second leading scorer on the team early on. And we shot the ball decent, 52%, and a lot of that was in the paint. We outscored them 18-6 in first quarter points in the paint, and 2 of 6 from 3. But on the other end is more of the same that we've been seeing. OKC shot 50% from the field in the first quarter and 50% from deep, but thankfully they had those 5 turnovers, and we had a 31-28 lead. Or no, OKC had a 3-point lead after the first quarter. 31-28. So I didn't have a lot of takeaways. SGA had 10, but for them, and Roby looked like he was going to be a problem for JV. Ended up really not being too much of a problem, but just kind of, what'd you think early on?
Early on, the first half was kind of terrible. We stole the ball a lot. Brevin made a great point in the first half. In terms of our defense. And it was like we get a lot of steals. I think we lead the league in deflections, or we're top 5 in deflections or something like that. But deflections and stuff isn't all defense. Like, we get all these steals, but teams are still shooting 50%. You know, over 50%.
I think we lead the league in steals.
Yes, like it's one of those things. It's like you have to be able to get stops outside of turnovers. You have to get them to shoot the shots you want them to shoot, and to be able to clear the rebound, and so they don't get offensive rebounds. And it was spurt, like even like the game last night, it was spurts, man. We would get up by 8 or 9, they would come back. We would let them back in. And the first half was really just kind of ugly. Like, Dillon starts the game with 2 fouls in the first 3 minutes. He plays so wild in the first quarter. It's really ridiculous. And I comment on it every game, but nothing changes. It's like he doesn't listen or watch the show. And but Kyle did his thing, you know what I'm saying? He finished his first half with 5 steals. We fouled them a lot in the first quarter. They shot 11 free throws in the first quarter, and we didn't shoot that many. But we made up for it in the second quarter. We didn't foul them at all. Well, it just shows you how NBA officiating is. Like, how you not gonna call a single foul, though? Like, that never happens. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, this was one of those games. Like, you can kind of tell that OKC didn't have the proper shoot around. It also kind of speaks to the talent that these NBA players have to get off a plane 2 hours before the game and come out and look the way that they looked and not get blown out. Like, there are high school teams that are like, you know what I'm saying, they can't do that. They got to have a week of practice before they play and be good. But these dudes, like, yeah, we played a game last night, get on the plane, come here. No, they probably had a shoot around Oklahoma City. Who knows? The weather might have been bad. But, like, come here and hoop. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to them for putting up a fight and scaring us. Like you said, I think it was 30-31 to end the first quarter. And then at halftime, we were up by 157-56. So the first half was kind of just you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, in the second quarter, it felt like there was a 10-minute delay when there was a call. They had called a foul on Ja, and then they reviewed it and overturned it. And he obviously didn't get fouled. It was like, come on, guys. Like, we're taking forever. There's no one here. Like, let's just go. We're watching a glorified scrimmage. BC came in, hit a 3. Justin Jackson had 3 quick turnovers, so he was definitely with us tonight.
He with us.
But yeah, no fouls, and I thought Ja had a dumb shot to close the quarter. Basically took the shot clock all the way down. There's about 4 seconds left on the main clock, and he gets in the paint. And he could have kicked it out, but he does his left-handed scoop shot, and no one gets back on defense. We give up an easy bucket. I think it was Baisley, and allow the Thunder to bring it within one. So I had marked that. I was like, man, that could turn the tide of the game. Just that little mishap alone. But we had 12 steals in the first half, and we were only up by 1.
Right.
We had 17 points off of turnovers to the Thunder 7. But they were shooting the hell out of the ball. I mean, they were shooting 50% from deep. We were 5 of 13, not really shooting that well. But yeah, I mean, the first half, it was what it was. Our points in the paint basically kept us in it.
Yeah, I noticed one thing. I don't know if you now write it down for the third quarter or the second. I think he made a 3 in the second quarter. It looks like the hitch is out of Brandon Clark's shot. Like he's at the beginning of the year when he was shooting threes, when he was shooting deep shots, like he had a hitch, like he would start here and then go. It looks a lot smoother now. It looks like he has more confidence in it, since it feels like it looks better for sure. It looks like he has more confidence in it. There was a sharp drop off, which I guess is to be expected, but you don't really want to see it, from the starters to the bench. You mentioned it last game. Tyus Jones is not playing well right now, and we're really not used to that. And then again, you got McDermott and Conchar and some guys that's playing minutes. We didn't see Gorgie tonight, I don't think. No, I don't think we saw Gorgie.
No.
But in the second quarter, we were up by like 9, and we put the bench came in and they ran off. You know what I'm saying? They took a lead, they up by 1 or something like that. So there was a sharp drop off. The bench unit needed to get their stuff together. But once again, when you got players playing above their heads or playing minutes they're not used to playing, that's the kind of stuff that you deal with. You just don't want that to, against a good team that's going to come back and hurt you, which we've seen it. We've seen it. So yeah, that was the first half.
Yeah, and then we it looked like we were gonna blow them out there early in the third quarter. I think we pushed the lead like 69-61, and then the rest of my notes are fouls, boring, and it's a 69-69. Nice. And then Brandon Clark basically scored 7 straight. He hit him on that bounce pass, and Brandon dunked. He had his second and 1 of the game. Didn't convert either one, and we forgot to mention the first one in the first quarter. Probably one of the highlights of the year was Ja threw the lob to Brandon, and he dunked on Roby, got the foul. Yeah, NBA Top Shot that.
It's a moment.
Gotta be. And then right after Brandon Clark had that dunk, Xavier Tillman had a nice little fake and made a move, and Ja cut baseline, which we're starting to see more of. And Xavier Tillman showed off that, his offensive arsenal. Nice bounce pass right to Ja, boom, jammed it home. And then we didn't close the quarter again. We were up by like 6 or 8 there with the 2 minutes left, and we come out with Tyus, Grayson, Conchar, Brandon Clark, and Xavier Tillman, and I realized that we don't have anyone else. So it is what it is, but it allowed them right back in it. Mike Muscala was shooting that hoe, looked like Grayson Allen.
Shooting that thing. What's okay, and I always get them mixed. I got them mixed up because this dude's a lot older than Mike Muscala. What was the dude from West Virginia who had a weird name? Is Kitsnagel?
Oh, like Kevin Pittsnuggle or something like that?
I kept getting them mixed up. And I was like, well, that's not how he plays. Like, bro, why is he shooting? But I'm like, oh, Mike Muscala. Got it. Okay. All right. I'll get my wife.
I don't think Pittsnuggle made it to the league. I don't think he ever had.
He had a cup of coffee. He had a cup of coffee in the league. Somebody got him because he was too good of a college. He didn't play that long though.
He might have been an Uber Eats driver. He might have been in and out. I don't know if he sat down and had a cup of coffee.
Yeah, right. He was, maybe they had 10 days back then. They didn't have 2 ways. But like you said, man, closing quarters has always been an issue. Like we didn't close any quarter good today. First quarters, we didn't close the first quarter. We didn't close the first half. We didn't close the third quarter good. One thing with this team, which you see, which I guess is a byproduct of the drop off from the bench and the starters. Is it seems like we take our foot off the gas. Like this was a game where we were up by 9 in the third quarter. That easily should have been pushed to 15. You know what I'm saying? But we get up by 9, get some dunks, some showy plays, foot off the gas. You look up, now we're just up by 2. And it's like, okay, well, there was a point in time in the game where we could have, we really could have ended this team. And Brett and Pete said it multiple times on the broadcast. OKC plays these close games, and they're always like this until they run out of gas. But I think that we probably could have helped them run out of gas a lot quicker if we kept our foot on the gas. It's a lot of gas references. But, and that didn't hurt us because we ended up winning the game. But it's like against good teams, you can't do that. And you're building habits. You should be building habits for when you play good teams. And they're not. And right now, that's something that we have to work on.
Yeah, and one of the worst habits is not guarding anyone. That third quarter, the Thunder went 6 of 13 from downtown, and then we fouled and they fouled. And that's basically when it's two teams playing pretty bad basketball. It's just a foul fest because they got 10 more free throws in that quarter, so they got 11 in the first and 10 in the third. That's 21, and they finished with 28. So the majority came in those 2 quarters. But to our credit. I thought Ja played well. His minutes in the third quarter, he had 4 points and 4 assists, but it seemed like he was kind of feeding everyone, hitting them in the right spot. His shot wasn't falling tonight, not at all. He still managed to get a triple double. So, but we'll hold that. Let's go ahead and get into the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter started with our boy Taylor Jenkins. Got a technical in between the third and fourth quarters, and won't be the last you hear that tonight. But we were up 86-85 at the end of the third, and then to start the fourth, it's 86-86.
Because Taylor technical. What did he get a technical for? I must have turned the tennis match on for them.
It was after the quarter, and I guess he just said the magic word to the referee. And then JV kind of started going to work. Well, he had 10 in the first half, and then he didn't really do a whole lot in the third, but he finished with 15. So I guess he finished with 22 and 12, another double-double. So he started going to work, which is what we expected to see the whole game, basically. But hey, in winning time, it happened. And then a lot more fouls, and the Grizzlies basically pushed the lead up to about 10, 106-95. And then on the NBA League Pass version, we went inside the arena, and Mike T just played bangers for 3 minutes straight. And they should have just let him DJ the whole entire game. There's no fans there.
We couldn't hear that on the local broadcast. We didn't know Mike T was out there bumping. What was he playing? Play a fly stuff?
Nah, he's some Moneybag Yo, about 3 Little Baby songs. All the young rap.
Okay, all right. They don't know nothing about that play a fly.
No. That takes a special moment. You don't want to waste that when there's no fans in the arena. And that's a special moment,
Great point. Good point.
But yeah, I thought they should have let my boy just vibe the whole time, and then like the organ, like an organ, just let him DJ the whole time. I'm sure the players could use some background noise.
Yeah, even I'm sure that they would like some fans there. To go from having however many, 200 or however many fans they had there last night to having 0, especially against a team like this where you said the energy is just really not there. You have to manufacture your own energy, and it's just tough to do that with no fans when you're playing a game like this. You know what I'm saying?
Both teams coming off a back-to-back. One team's been snowed in all day. The other one, basically been traveling all day trying to make it there. So just
I thought about this. We both and this is my basketball logistics brain working. Do you think that they made the team stay at the Westin last night after the game? Or do you think they let them go home? I don't think they couldn't have let them go home. They knew the storm was coming.
Yeah, I don't know. I know they had talked about that on Chris Vernon's show before the Pelicans game, and they said that the players went home. So I'm sure it is an option. But I mean, a lot of these guys can probably get a driver to take them to home, sleep in their own bed, see their family.
Great point.
You know,
Oh, I see. I'm thinking college. I'm not thinking professional. I'm thinking, college. We got buses and stuff. Professional, they get their own drivers.
yeah, or the team gets some drivers. You know,
It was crazy out here though. Like this, we woke up this morning and then this. I like imagine living in Eads, where like the roads and whatnot are what they are. You got to drive through the snow to get. Nah, I'm straight.
yeah, it's not safe.
Not safe at all. But glad the game happened. And all that stuff. Jo, I don't know if I'm going. I would have said if they paying for the suite at the Westin or the Peabody, I would have been. Hey, I would have been in that thing. You know what I'm saying? I would have chilled out there. But yeah, talking about your boy Ja, he had a triple double tonight. He had a double. He's had a double double 4 out of 5 games, or 4 out of our 5 last games. Last 5 games he had a double double, and tonight he had triple double. It's a good thing he got that extra rebound because he did get some home cooking from the statisticians.
He might get that one taken away. Yeah,
he might just end up with 10 rebounds instead of the 11. But you know, it was actually pretty good to see. This is the type of team that he should have a triple double against. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, get your points, get your rebounds. Coming off 7 rebounds last night to 11 rebounds now. I don't know if that's a point of his that he wants to get more aggressive on the boards. But I mean, those are 2 games where he's getting high number of rebounds, and you didn't see that. Like, those are the 2 most rebounds he's gotten in the season, in the game all season.
Well, I mean, we need it. This team's not a good rebounding team outside of Valanciunas and Brandon Clark when he's in there. And you love to see Ja kind of leading by example, and hopefully it rubs off on the rest of the team. Dylan's not a very good rebounder. Grayson's undersized, but he gets in there and he's good at seeing when the ball is going to come off long and being able to get it and start a break. So you know, and like we said the other day, if Ja's floor is a double-double, you'll take that. You know, like and he's not shooting the ball well, and it's got to be mentally taxing on him. But to be able to continue to produce for this team and keep this team in games for the most part outside of that Pelicans game, I'm pleased with it. Like, because he could just struggle and just completely shut down and or try to force shots too much and not get others involved. It could go any which way, you know. Like, but he's continuing to lead by example and lead this team and put them in a position to win. And you know, we're 12-12. I would have definitely taken that at the beginning of the year if you gave me the option to just sign up to be 12-12.
Right. Ja was 4 for 14 tonight, and you think about
can't get much worse.
Can't get much worse, and he is begging for calls when he drives and shoot his floater. Like, he wants those, and he wants an and one on the floaters. Don't know. He got a couple. I don't think he'll ever get as many as he wants to get. Not now, at least. Maybe when his profile in the league gets a little higher, he'll get those calls. But I think that a little bit of that, we know that we know that he's not that good of a 3-point shooter. So you don't have to worry about that. What was he tonight? 0 for 3. I mean, just make one, Ja, and we all good. But anyway.
And 2 of those were with more than 20 seconds on the shot clock. He came down, just went right behind the screen and pulled up. And I know that's what we want him to do, but maybe not that early in the shot clock. Like, pass it and get it back, then do that shit.
I'm saying this probably uneducated. I haven't watched enough. But in this instance, I think he's obviously a better catch and shoot player instead of doing a 3 off the dribble. And so you know, and that's when you get your body in motion, you're able to get your feet set, and boom, catch, shoot 3 at a decent range, and not at the end of the shot clock. You know, somebody just bailing somebody out by shooting it. But hopefully he can, you know, start making a few more of those floaters. This was just a bad shooting game for him, 4-14, but 7 of 8 from the 3-point from the free throw line. That lets you know he's attacking. He's shooting those shots right under the free throw line, doing the floater, getting to the rim. So what, like, 2 of his 4 makes were the baseline dunk, and like a layup. Those are 2 that I remember. And there were other 2 whatevers, How about something else? Ja's going to get his respect. All he has to do is just keep playing. And keep doing what he's doing. He'll get his respect. And you asked about Justice. I don't even know if Justice ever going to come back.
They reported today that he's practiced a couple times with the team, so I guess that's better than him not practicing with the team. And they said Jaren partially participated in a practice or something. Like, what does that mean?
No, he ran. He ran some suicides. I just want Justice to get to the point to where he can dress out, so we don't have to see his terrible outfits on the sideline. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, my boy got no style. So I want him to be able just to put on his jersey and his sweat so he can have on team issued gear, and we don't have to see his own decisions.
Well, his replacement, Kyle Anderson's been great. Kyle had 25 rebounds, 5 assists, and the 5 steals all in the first half. And I thought his defense really kept us in the game, kept us in this game when we couldn't score for shit and things weren't really going well. It helped that the Thunder were throwing the ball right to us.
They threw it right to us a few times. Like, Brevin was like, do they not see the defender right there? Like, hey, just literally just throw it right to our hands. I like aggressive Kyle, man. Like, you've seen his aggressiveness jump the last few games, and it's been something obviously the team needs. I think we were talking about it during the game on the text. About, is he playing his way into the future of this team? And if he is, where do we see him? And I think that, like, if he's going to be playing like this, find a good bench role for him. You know what I'm saying? To come off the bench and do something like that. And you mentioned that when Jaren comes back, hopefully this can continue because fuller spacing and more room for him to do his thing. But you can see him getting more comfortable with his jump shot, more comfortable with everything else, and just being slow-mo, man. Like, that's the player that played at UCLA. That's the player that played at in New Jersey. What's that, St. Anthony?
I think that's right. Yeah.
So that's the kind of he's just getting back in his bag, and that's why he was ranked so high, because that's who he is. So it's good to see Kyle be confident and not play too bad. I called him a bum a couple games ago, but he played.
Yeah, you were making him go against players in Spurs jerseys every game, like 2 weeks ago, and
yeah.
And people are probably like, "Oh, Mase, you said he can't play the 3 or whatever," and he can't play the 3 when he's playing with Valanciunas and Brandon Clark. Now, when he's next to Valanciunas and Jaren Jackson Jr., that's a whole different story. In theory, it fits together really well because Jaren can space the floor. Kyle can basically do what he's been doing, space the floor or attacking. But we haven't seen it. We don't know if it's actually going to work. We don't know what Kyle looks like when he's not the second best player on a team that can handle the ball.
That's what I'm saying. We don't know that he's not seeing people in front of him in Spurs jerseys. We don't know that.
So while we can speculate all night, but we don't know what he's going to be like when he's actually in a real role player and not this second man on the offense that it runs through for the most part. But a good night from him. Another good night from Grayson. Grayson was 6 of 10 from 3, shooting that hoe.
Shooting that thing.
That dude can shoot. Like he is knocking it down, and he finds his spots really well. Just like in him and Ja, I say it every night, but their chemistry. Like, Ja knows where he's going to be, and he knows where Ja wants him to be. So shout out to Grayson, man. 22 points. And then Dylan has 17. He shot like shit, but he played bad in 17 points. I'll take it.
13 shots from Dylan tonight. 17 shots from him last night.
Who you want shooting them? You want Conchar, McDermott, and Tyus shooting them?
That's the thing right now. Like, who else is going to take a shot? Like, everybody already took all the shots. Like, Kyle got 11. Jonas had 12. Ja had 14. Grayson had 13. And he had 13. Who else going to take the shots?
Tyus can't walk outside and slip on ice right now. So,
like somebody got to take the shots. And if there's shots out there to be taken, Dylan Brooks gonna take them. We know that for sure. And he gonna do bad fouls and just be wild and reckless throughout the whole game because that's just who he is. But in games against teams like this, it's okay. It works. Get all that shit out now and on Friday against the Pistons, and then when we get ready to play some real teams, kind of settle back down into your role. Jo asked a question about can we give him some thoughts on Jaren Jackson Jr.'s ceiling as a player? I'm gonna let you go first with this, Mase.
I mean, do y'all remember the bubble Jaren Jackson Jr., who was unstoppable on offense? It learned how to not really foul that much on defense. His verticality was great, so he was a presence at the rim anytime someone was trying to drive. I think Jaren could honestly be the best player on this team for, the next 10, 12 years. And not saying that, I mean, yes, Ja is a superstar, but I think Jaren has that type of ceiling where if you told me in 10 years Jaren's better than Ja, it wouldn't surprise me, but because of his skill set and his ability to shoot the ball. His rebounding is not quite there yet, but it's not that far off of some of the greats like Kevin Garnett and some of those other guys who came into the league really young. So I'm not saying he's going to be able to rebound like KG. He's definitely more perimeter oriented, but I think he can guard on the perimeter maybe a little better. I think he's going to, I think the dude can be great. And if the Grizzlies are going to win a championship, I think he'll probably have to be the leading scorer.
I'm going to say that Jaren's best ability is his availability. And that is contingent upon two things. He has to stop being injured. There's some injuries you can't control, but you don't want to be that injury-prone guy. And then it has to be, Mace, you mentioned it, the first 2 years, he was a fouling machine. He couldn't stay on the court because he fouled so much. So the more he's on the court, obviously, the better he'll be, and the better he'll be for this team. His offensive skill set is amazing. I don't like the way his jump shot looks, but it goes in. So there's not really much you can say about it. Handle the ball, shoot the ball, post moves, whatever. Rebounding is suspect. I just wonder if that's a function of how we use him too. And he needs to get into his grown man body, get some muscle. Maybe when we come back from this, he has, was it Achilles? It was Achilles or his knee?
Knee.
You could have been working on your chest the whole time. You know what I'm saying? Chest and body, get some strength up there while you've been rehabbing and whatever. But I think the ceiling's pretty high for him. He's going to be I don't want to say I think a great comparison for Ja and Jaren is KG and Steph in Minnesota before they both got really big time. Before Steph got big time and wanted to get up out of there. But Steph's rookie year and him and KG together, it was just flashy point guard, a 5'2" big man who can do whatever you need him to do and just be whatever. That's what I think they can be. And even if that group had stayed together, they could have made some noise out there. So,
man, what a fucking downer! KG and Steph in Minnesota, jeez.
No, they
just didn't even win a playoff series, did they?
They were great together.
Damn, I ain't trying to have regular season fun. I'm trying to get to the playoffs.
As a tandem, they were great together.
All right, listen, Grizzlies fans. Jaren's ceiling, his true ceiling, is being the third best scorer 7 feet or taller the NBA has seen when it's all said and done, when his career wraps up. That's his ceiling. Who's the two seven footers ahead of him?
Dirk and KD. Dirk and KG.
No, not KD. Yeah, exactly. So that's how highly I think of his skill set. Now,
I'm not talking about success. I'm just talking about the fun that they can bring to the game and the feeling that I get watching them, right?
I thought you was about to say Shaq and Kobe or something. Man
I
said
was
Steph
about
and KG in Minnesota.
I was about to say Shaq and Penny, but I don't know if Jaren can be as dominant as young Shaq ever was. So that's why I kind of took off of that, because like young KG didn't come into his own until like what 6-7 years in the league already.
Yeah.
And when he led Minnesota to the Western Conference Finals, him and like Anthony Peeler and Wally Zerviak, and so that's why I said the group. Anyway, a realistic floor. A realistic floor is
we're living it. We're living it.
Realistic floor is we never see him on the court, like, because he's going to always be injured. Like, I mean, this is he's injured he's been injured every year. And sometimes, like the first year, whatever, we kept him out because we weren't playing for anything, so there's no use in playing him. But for right now, like we need to see him in Justice. And I know J.O. said that he thought Justice has been one of the most overhyped prospects in the last 20 years. Probably. Could be. There's one too many Dukies on this team for my liking. But, that's where we are right now.
All right, man. Well, who you got as player of the game for tonight's win over the Thunder?
Player of the game, I'm going with Kyle Anderson. So he had 20 points, like you said, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, and 5 steals. So 5. That's my player of the game.
Yeah, mine too. No arguments there. What about your player of the game?
I gotta go bum first.
Man, I always fuck that shit up. Who you got for bum of the game?
My bum is a dude from OKC, Lou Dort. Just because he went to Arizona State University, and we are University of Arizona household over here. So I just made it in my mind tonight that anytime the Grizzlies play against somebody from the Arizona State University, they're going to be my bum of the game. But luckily for us, it's not many of them in the league because they suck. So we won't play against too many of them. So Lou Dort, bum of the game.
I got to go with Kenrich Williams for 2 reasons. One, at the end of the game, he hammered JV on a layup attempt, and he fell backwards, and his teammates had to pick him up. And 2, because what is his haircut, man? What is that little thing on the back? Like, I like to consider myself a pretty cultured white guy, and I ain't never seen no shit like that.
I've seen it before. I don't know the name of it, but I just thought about this when you said it. I'm like, but bro, you know what, man? He living in Oklahoma City.
Is that like the black version of a mullet?
I was party in the front, party way. Front, party way at the back. Yeah. His hair is terrible. His name is terrible. He looks terrible. He plays in a terrible place. He's in Oklahoma City. I'm sure they have a good, thriving black community there. He can find a good barber to take care of that. I mean, Russ and KD and James Harden were there for years. And, Chris Paul was there last year, and maybe he flew his own barber in. Who knows? But you got to do something about that because he looks terrible. Y'all are winning shit, and you look terrible. Whatever.
All right, my play of the game is the alley-oop I mentioned earlier in the first quarter, John Morant to Brandon Clark, the dunk on Isaiah Roby for an and 1 attempt. Missed the free throw. But what about you? What you got for player of the game? I
am going with the play we talked about earlier too. Xavier Tillman catches on the wing, one up fake, gets the defender up, takes like maybe half a dribble and a half, and bounce past the Ja on the baseline, and Ja dunks it. It was in the third quarter, I believe, and it was in one of the runs that we were doing with Ja. Like, it was just a nice play that we needed.
All right, so now what the people have been waiting for.
What they've been waiting for. Did
Jamal win any money tonight?
Actually, I wanted to. You know what? You're right. Maybe they don't have good barbers in OKC. Because KD's haircut was. KD just got the little boy haircut. Just go give me a low and even all around. Didn't even have. Can't mess that up. No, I didn't win any money tonight. I made a couple conscious decisions with the money I was spending tonight. I only like to spend about $10 when I bet. And I had to bet a couple different things tonight. Had to bet the tennis match. Had to bet, another NBA game. So I did a big parlay tonight. Like I usually do this stats-based parlay. And let's just go through it like we do. Kyle Anderson over 10 points. He did that. Jonas Valanciunas over 15 points. He did that. Jonas Valanciunas over 10 rebounds. He did that. Kyle Anderson over 4 rebounds. He did that. Lou Dort over 10 points. Did that. Still a bum. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 15 points. He did that. He did do that, right?
Yep.
He did. Grayson Allen over 7.5 points. He did that. Then I threw in Memphis winning on the money line. They did that. And Dylan Brooks over 13.5 points. They did that. The one I didn't hit, I had John Morant scoring over 17.5 points. He finished with 15. But, while I was putting the bet together, I could have just clicked, Ja to score 15 or more. I was like, nah, I don't like the odds. The odds weren't too great. The odds were too low. It wasn't going to give me enough money if he get it. So I'm like, you know what, fuck it. He can get 17. He can get 17. He did. So that 4 for 14, just make one, bro. Or make a 3. Make a 3, and you win me some money. But I would gladly lose the little $3 I bet on this for the Grizzlies to get a dub. You know what I'm saying? So that was good. Like I said, I hit the Boston and Atlanta parlay, so I wasn't too mad, and I made a little bit off the tennis, so I ain't too mad about it.
There we go. And as you continue to lose money, you are giving the people some valuable life lessons. And tonight's life lesson is don't be greedy, man. Just take the 15 points. You don't need to bust that up a little bit. You make it like what, 50 more cents?
Yeah, you know what? There you go. Like, this is not a gambling podcast. Do not gamble. And if you do gamble, don't bet more than like $2. Don't get too crazy. All right. We ain't out here playing with a lot of money.
What games we got next? I know we don't have any Memphis Tigers games, but the Grizzlies have played every night, it feels like.
Pistons on Friday. We got tomorrow off. Got the Pistons on Friday.
Oh, former Grizz in town.
DeLon Wright, right?
Yeah, who is currently tied on the franchise record books for second most triple doubles as a Grizzly, tied with Ja Morant. They both have 3, and I think Marc Gasol leads with 5. I don't remember Mark getting 4 of those triple doubles.
They made those triple. Ain't nobody gonna go check. No, Mark, okay, cool. We believe you, but we don't really believe you.
Right.
Yeah.
Pistons, another winnable game. I mean, the Pistons suck.
Another winnable game. Like, this gets you over 500. I don't know where it puts you in the standings. Let's see. Let's check that out. NBA.
Yeah, I think we're right at 9 is where we were last night. So let's see what we got.
Yep. Yep. We win that game. We're 13-12. We'll have 12 losses. The other teams have 13 losses, so that will keep us at 9 and move us up to 8 or whatever. It's just based off the losses, losses and wins. It's gonna be crazy, man, because everybody haven't played the equal amount of games. So you're looking at this: Utah's 29, LA 29, Clippers 30, Portland 28, Phoenix 27, San Antonio 27, Denver 28, Golden State 28. We only got 24. 28, 27, 28.
We're not as far behind as I thought we would be. So about 4 or 5 games behind.
Right.
I guess that's right. Yeah.
And we still got we got some time, man. I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how they try to mesh the team together with Jaren and Justice come back. Is there going to be some type of learning curve that disrupts the rhythm that we have? If I'm honest, right now, even looking at, we got 2 more weeks.
Yeah, we got 8 games before the break, so that'll put us at 32 games.
Don't bring none of them back before the break. What's the point? Take the break to practice more. Get them healthy these 8 games. Take the break to practice with Justice and Jaren, and then bring them back after the break. There's no reason for either one of them to play before that.
I might want to see him get some sea legs.
No, let him play against a good team. Let him play against Washington on the Tuesday, March 7th.
I got that one circled, and it's not at home, so if they suck, it doesn't matter.
Oh, we got a back-to-back because we got a Friday, Saturday. Phoenix is in town.
Ooh, our old friends.
Our old friends. We just beat them on MLK Day. Devin Booker not too happy about that.
The schedule, I mean, after the Pistons, it gets pretty tough. Phoenix, Dallas, Clippers twice, Houston, then Washington and Milwaukee. So definitely not easy.
Oh, man. Well, brother, that's a good show. So we're going to end it. We're going to end it with that. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the All Memphis Post Game Show presented to you by the Kickback. I'm your boy Jamal. That's the homie Mase. Mase, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me on Twitter at BarnBurnerSlim. You can find the show on YouTube, Diamond in the Bluff. What media? Diamond. Just search Diamond in the Bluff.
Diamond in the Bluff. You can see it. You know what it is.
Where can they find you, and where else is the show?
They can find me in St. Louis. That is a Nelly song.
It happens every time. I want to say it every night.
But you can find me on Twitter at Nerdy McFly, on Facebook at Jamal Body. The show is also on Facebook and on Twitch at the Kickback Pod at both places. Start using Twitch more. I want to do I don't think that people would do it because the games are so late, but have a watch party via Twitch. Watch the game and kind of just talk on Twitch. Hopefully we can get to that at some point. But yeah, that's so you can catch all of the shows and catch us. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we will talk to you guys after the Grizzlies play the Pistons on Friday night. So with that being said, that is Mase. I am Jamal, and we are out.
Peace. Be safe.